change that so that it kind of only gets updated as needed, which should improve our kind of potential top frame rate quite a bit in the normal case that you're not doing a ton of, you know, popping and all stuff. So anyway, we'll keep you posted on that. It's in the early stages yet, so there's not anything out there to you know, test or play around with. That will be good. Yeah, that's not out in anything yet. It's in, I think it's the Dirt Viewer 510 branch. Whatever's been pushed there is going to be there, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying to follow that right now since it's just in the early stages. We're also going to be putting out a new Dirt Viewer 525, which is going to be Love Me Render number 5. That's where we're going to be putting smaller bug fixes and things out. So we don't want those to be kind of stuck in the queue behind the UI work. As we get time to work on high priority issues and a few fixes we already have floating around, those are for the new look. So that will probably be going out as a project viewer before too long, but I don't have a date for that yet. I'm not sure about the volume one, Lucy. I don't think I've seen that issue. The copy paste viewer is kind of on hold right now. It got into a lot of kind of complicated UI, and we kind of put a pause on it until our UI folks have more time to take a look at it. It's not really time frame. Yeah, and there were a lot of bugs. It's possible the whole thing's going to wind up getting scrapped, honestly. But I don't think there's any definite decision to that effect. I think right now it's just on hold.
There we go.
Key mappings is out in RC now, so that one should be in the queue to release relatively soon. And it says Real Boon working on full region builds and updates. Is that for the copy paste viewer? Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah, we've had kind of mixed results on that one. I think the UI is pretty complicated, and there's a lot of corner cases in the behavior. So, making something that it's hard when you have something that's kind of good for power users, but nobody else can really follow it, and so we're trying to avoid getting into that kind of a situation. Yeah, a lot of our viewer UI is, let's say, it's more evolved than designed. We're trying to be a bit more deliberate about that sort of thing, but there's a lot more UI than there us at this point. would be nice for the build experience to be more immediately approachable. That was I think more of a design constraint in the early days, so you can go in and start walking cubes down or whatever, and it's pretty straightforward. But if you want to actually build new avatars or something, that's a big complexity step, and it's not really something that would be very easy to do completely inside our viewer at this point.
I swear, every time we start a meeting, I always gotta argue with Lucy. Like, what the fuck is her
I
problem?
think as long as you don't get into rigs, I mean, you just bring in a 3D model. Not that hard.
Yeah, although making a fresh 3D model would be a lot more work.
But yeah, as soon as you get into rigs, then your complexity is exponential almost. Yeah.
Rigging is extremely easy. You just need to have a good source of education. So I gotta get my snob voice on. Is there any particular reason why you feel the need to, like, always start? Like, is that just your gig or whatever? You know what? Never. Forget it. Forget I mentioned it.
All right. Hey guys, we're gonna try to keep it friendly here. All right. Any other topics on people's minds? Making new stuff, or trying new things, or running into new issues, or any of that?
Well, as you can see from my gigantic lady, we fixed that issue where giant avatars weren't resident. Turns out there was a little bit of an issue with Blender 2.79a original and B. Something got patched, but if you go back a version, everything works fine. So, thanks
hey,
everybody.
You're so gigantic, I didn't even see you. I was zoomed in too far.
You just see feet.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So how high can you go on the scale for that one? Does it go up to 64? Okay.
I didn't go all the way up to 64 because I kept going over 64. I gotta learn how to do technical things more than feel.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
But it did get up before. We couldn't even go above 8 feet. So being 45 as I am right now, it's like, yay, we're big.
Yeah, it's a big improvement.
I did play with this zombie. I made this zombie bakes on mesh. I got to play with bakes on mesh quite a bit. One thing that kind of perplexes me is if you don't use the 4 default sets, like the head, body, lower body, and air, you can't hide the avatar. Like the full avatar.
Can't hide. I mean, the logic is that it will hide the corresponding region, right? So if you have a mesh that's using head, then it will hide the head, and if you have a mesh that's using the body, then it'll hide the upper body. But yeah, there's not an additional way to do that. Of course, traditionally you would hide the body using an alpha, but I don't know what takes on mesh because then the picture's invisible.
Well, you know, I got all of that working. Like, I guess if I detach my pants, you can see, yeah, so like I have an alpha on my legs, you know, and it works perfectly. And this is a completely new UV. It's not the Second Life UV. Okay. But the thing I think about is like a lot of these bodies that people are making, they have a right and a left arm. Well, how can you use the traditional alpha system if you if you're using a left arm for like tattoos and stuff? But like it can't work unless you apply it to like the hair layer. Like that's what I ended up doing to make it so I could hide all the parts on this body. I'm using the hair layer for my arms.
Ooh, that's where universals come into play. Universals act as your tattoo, where you can assign it to that left arm slot.
You can't make universal wearables that use any of the textures that you want.
God, he's so stupid.
Yeah, I was just wondering if people are doing it differently, or if they're using some other technique to hide like parts of their unique meshes. It's almost like we need for like people who want two arms.
So for the left arm thing, I mean, if you had a universal that set the left arm texture, and you had a body that had one of the arms actually using the left arm channel, then that should actually hide the base left arm, then, shouldn't it? Oh no, you're talking
Yeah,
system
but that's just an alpha,
which
right? There's no slot in the alpha for that.
Right. Yeah, so I guess it would kind of be all or none as far as the upper body goes. You couldn't just do kind of one arm and not the other.
Yeah, unless you use the hair like I'm using. And I guess you can, because, I mean, nobody needs that hair layer anymore, you know?
A lot of people use the hair layer for exactly what you said. In the last meeting we were talking about that the face and head, like if you try using the face layer for a tattoo or a skin or something, it's missing alphas. So now to make that bakes on mesh with an alpha thing, you do use your hair layer instead of a head layer. So I reckon if you needed an extra slot and didn't want to use your hair, you can use your head instead.
I think there was a proposal to let people more directly control kind of what stuff was getting hidden. When we're doing bakes on mesh, but I would have to look back through the Jira list about that.
I think it's super cool. I think if people use the hair layer, they can do that, but it's not going to work with default alpha layers. But I mean, it's all workable. I like it a lot. I think it's super cool.
Then why are you complaining?
Yeah, seems like it's working well for that model.
Oh, I was wondering where anybody used the skirt layer.
UVs,
I
right?
thought that was did with the jacket.
Yeah. This is all unique UVs. Yeah.
Unique as in this the Genesis one from
And I
Lindens.
made a bunch of like tattoos for them. Let me see if I can find them. I can turn them off. There's one the blood on my face is one of them. And the baking, the rebaking is like so fast. I'm super impressed by it all.
Oh, good. Yeah, zombies are known for their fashion sense. I mean, you gotta
I'm trying to just. Lucia, one day I swear to goodness.
Oh, I did want to add something to the giant avatar talk that we were doing just before we Medu was talking.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I stayed afterwards and was working with Bunny on the large avatar problem, and I figured out with Joey's help here that if you have any bones that are using custom bone positions, if there is no weighting on that bone at all,
Hold it.
those custom bone positions don't get applied to the mesh.
Hold it.
Even if it's in the DAE, if there's no weight applied to a bone that has custom bone position, it gets ignored. And so that was the problem that Bunny was having. And I think it's something that Maydew had discovered a long time ago when he was doing his elephant, if I remember correctly.
Hold it. That's just. I understand what you're saying, but I gotta interject with that. It's totally wrong. I did it.
No, it's totally right, because I did plenty of experiments with Maya
and that's what I'm
adding weights and taking away weights.
Yeah.
And that's what was causing at least some of your problems, maybe.
Yeah, but I think that's just a Maya. I tried it with a different version of Blender, and I did absolutely nothing you said, and it worked perfectly fine. Also, some of the weights on this one aren't all added into it, and everything uploaded properly. It seems like it was just something with the way Blender, that version of Blender, was exporting things. I'm not sure why it was working with Maya, but even though... Whew.
I would bet you anything. Were you using Avastar?
Of course.
Yeah, Avastar, most likely the makers of Avastar, I know the main programmer there.
Right.
He's probably smart enough to know that if something doesn't have weight and it has custom bone positions, that he just puts on in the exporting process just a touch of weight on it. So he takes care of that for you.
But that doesn't explain.
Most likely.
I understand that. However, if that was the case, then it would have worked in the previous versions that I used it in. It like I said, I did a ton of experiments, and so did
Maya,
I.
And it worked. It worked exactly the way I said that. If a weight doesn't have any, if a custom bone does not have any weight on it, it doesn't. At least Maya DAEs.
Well,
it doesn't hold that custom bone position.
Right.
So,
well,
you know,
that could be something we're doing in the viewer. I would have to check if we actually look at that or not.
Okay. But at least in Blender's way, I can say that when it was exported in Blender 2.79 and not 79A or B, it could export even if there were items, bones, without weighting on it. I tried, like I said, I did experiments with you guys, and I ran down and did everything that you had said, and I looked at what you said in Jira, and I was still getting the issue. So once I went back a version in that same series, everything worked perfectly fine, just plain Jane, scale up, export. Doesn't even have to have all the weights onto it, because my face is rigged, but it's not fully rigged with all the weights on it like I was doing with the experiments that you had suggested we put all of them on there. So yeah, it may be, but at least the Blender, it was that version that was causing an error. They probably patched it with the last huzzah of the 7 series and broke something. But if you don't use A or B and just use the plain one, it works fine. So I don't know. That's that.
right, and I had no problem making a 64 meter tall avatar.
Me either. I can do one right now if you want. Just click this, scale it up, and there we go. Without having to go through the whole freeze the this and that you suggested inside the Maya thing. But, you know, Maya and Blender, apples and oranges, so maybe you have to do that with Maya, but at least with the Blender side of it, that ain't the case.
Correct. I would be more concerned with how Linden Labs uploader deals with the files. And, you know, because like I said, apples and oranges between Maya and Blender. Blender doesn't even have a bytecode.
Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
I was just going to say, Blender doesn't even really have a bind pose. It uses, you know, that has to be added by the exporter, and so they are apples and oranges.
I mean, you could actually take a look in the uploader and see if it's, you know, listing the joint or not. It could be getting pruned out either by the modeling software or by the uploader itself. If it's like
You know what I did notice? Doing these custom avatars, I'm constantly hitting the limit, for how many bones. So I'm, going through the whole list that we get in World of all the bones, and it's not always correct, or it doesn't match up with what I have in Blender.
What's not always correct? The list of bones that it shows in the upload window.
Right, because there are bones in there that I'm not using, because of course I want to try and use, as many sliders as I can. So I'm trying to eliminate bones, and there's some bones in there that you just can't eliminate.
If
Like,
you have
I
an
think
example
spine bones won't get eliminated. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean there's some bones that are kind of like intermediate. If you've got a bone that's sort of part way down the
Way too
hierarchy, I don't
apparent,
know if that winds up getting kept automatically.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Because you have
if
to
it just automatically carries the bone.
right, because there's a kind of a chain working your way down. So to actually move some of the kind of leaf nodes, you may have to carry along the intermediates. But yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there. If you have an example, I can take a look at it, and feel free to pass it along.
Well, I'll think about it in those terms then next time I do it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's various stages where stuff could be getting confused. So unless we have a kind of model to check against, it's kind of hard to track down what's going on there.
Yeah, Veer, you asked me if I did go through the DAE, and the bones that didn't have any weights on them were defined, and their positions were defined in the DAE. So the bones were in the actual DAE, and their positions were defined, but they didn't have any weight on them, and they were getting ignored by the uploader. Okay. So it was in there.
Okay,
and I think I did provide... Yeah, and I think I did provide a DAE in the JIRA that Bunny had made for it.
Okay. If I get a chance, I will try to take a look at that then. And see if we can track out what's going on. But no promises stuff fast is going to happen. We've got uplifty stuff and so some holiday stuff coming up soon.
And I don't think it's pruning the weights, the various weights off, because all I had to do was add like 1/1000th of a weight on a particular bone to get it to upload correctly.
Yeah,
so
I mean, if there's any weight at all, I wouldn't expect it to throw it away, but it's possible that it tries to clean it up if it doesn't detect any.
I think Joey suggested that when I went through the DAE, the bone was defined, but then the bone wasn't, other bones that had weights on them, you can find several different places in the DAE where they're located, so I think in the DAE, the bone was defined, but in the section that dealt with weights, since the bone didn't have any weights on it, it was left out, and that's probably what's getting, in the uploading process, it's checking the bones that have weights on it, and so it doesn't find any weight on it, so it just ignores it.
Although I question that theory.
Cleanup that goes on, sorry, just a second, buddy. There's just some cleanup that goes on during the model loading too, where it tries to clean up the joint references. Could be stuff getting stage 2 and everything. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't have anything else to say.
I thought Bunny was saying something.
Oh, no, I was just saying I questioned that theory. I mean, I had a model that was fully rigged. I copied the weights from every single solitary bone into the body and chopped off the head because, you can't have them all on there at once. And it still came in crumpled up. Or the chin was jacked up, and the chin was definitely weighted because when you talked, it was hilarious. So, like I said, at least that's probably the deal with Maya, but Blender and something's up
If
with
you
how it was
actually-
afterwards.
If you actually compare like a Blender DAE side by side with the Maya DAE, they look quite different.
Of course,
You know,
that's
I mean,
why
even though they're
apples
both
and
collage-
oranges. Maya's a
Yeah,
pain in
no,
the ass.
but I mean, that's what I'm saying is that they're formatted quite apparently quite differently, and that may be the difference. Is that way.
They don't even use the same coordinate system, do they?
I'm not sure.
But like, each bone before the chin also needs to be weighted.
So it could
Yeah,
be,
it was weighted in there, Joey, and it still collapsed or stretched wrong. But you know, like I said, once we switched blenders, everything worked out absolutely fine. It exported just like any other mesh. So,
Okay.
so
Well, if
huzzah!
got it working. That's to the bell right there. Good. Let's see. Did you have a question? Oh, Lucy had asked about Arctan. Yeah, recently I've been back poking around a little bit at timers. Particularly trying to track down causes of frame rate variability. You know, if you look at like the times for different frame
New
rates,
bones,
there's
new
a lot of
bones.
variation. You kind of wind up with these clusters where it's like, you know, most of them fit within a certain range, but then a certain fraction of them just kind of blow out the. So the question is, you know, what's going on with that? It doesn't look like it's actually rendering work. It looks like it's sort of other upkeep stuff like texture pipeline. The culprit there, but we're kind of in early investigation stages, right? So we don't know for sure, and it's probably one of those things that varies depending on the nature of the scene and whatnot. Question about Sansar having clothing fit any avatar. Yeah, I mean Sansar, of course, is a product that's operated by a separate company now, so we don't, you know, we don't directly have access to that. It's even when it was in house, it was a code base. So I mean, you know, if there are features from Sansar that people are interested in. You know, people could put in feature requests for them or whatever, but it's not the kind of thing that just kind of you know, pick up. In that sense, it would be basically a new project as far as Second Life is concerned.
You know how they do it too. In Sansar, you go into like an edit room to edit your avatar, and that's where they do all the cloth simulation and everything. So unless we did something like that here, we couldn't do it in real time. It would kill everyone to simulate in real time.
Yeah, the edit room is something that keeps coming up. We'd originally planned to do that for Viewer 2. Some of you may be old enough to remember Viewer 2, but ran out of time. Didn't make it in there. How do we put in a feature request? Just a second. It's basically like filing any other bug, except that you flag it as a new feature rather than a bug report. So there's a page about how to do that, which I will dig up in a second, or somebody else may find it first.
I'll send it to you, Zoe. Oh, well, or you can click that. That's exactly what I was going to send you.
Yeah. So yeah, if things come in as feature requests, we review those once a week. We've got a meeting on Wednesdays to talk about them. So you know, depending on whether we feel like it's something that we can tackle and something that would be useful for a lot of folks. We may
Shield your
pass
eyes
on
from
it.
that
We
ugly
may
zombie.
accept it, which just means that it's in the queue with a lot of other things that we would also like to do, but it doesn't really give you a specific time frame. I'm sure Lucy can tell you about a lot of things that she put in that have been accepted. But
if we did have a thing where we could send people off to be simulated and then come back, the marvelous designer stuff in Sansar is awesome. It really is.
yeah, Marvelous Designer does sound really interesting.
Well, plus as a avatar creator, it's like you don't have to worry about bigger muscles or any of that stuff. It all just simulates onto it. I'd be for dynamic bones too.
It's a slow learning process to get people to understand the PD numbers and trying to get them to stop making 5 PD shirts. But it's a lot better than it used to be. So here's to hoping.
Progress is good. You say dynamic bones, you mean like being able to specify an arbitrary skeleton for its uplift?
I think she means bones that can be affected by physics.
Oh, okay.
High Fidelity had they called it flow bones, and it was super cool. You could even grab them in VR and pull on someone's hair. Yes, it was super cool.
That's impressive. Yeah, I mean, one limitation with our system is that we don't do much with physics, right? The physics that runs in the simulator does, sort of some rough collision detection, but it's not really modeling motions that you're. So, trying to actually make that smarter would be a big change on the back end as well.
Yeah, I remember. I'm still pushing for skirt bones. Come on, skirt bones.
Well, we don't have to add bones. We could just add new properties to the bones that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, no, forget that. Skirt bones. Skirt bones. And kimono sleeve bones, like long sleeve bones. My God, rigging kimonos are a pain. If we had extra arms, that'd be great.
Lucy, no, I don't think we need more. I don't need more bones, but if we could add like physics to a bone, that would be super cool.
Joey, please. Hind leg bones for the skirt. Really? And I assume you want us to animate that shit because they are not parented to the legs.
I mean, some of that is in there with the body physics. When we wear a body physics, that's those bones are affected by physics.
Body physics, yes, but not hind legs, my dear. Truncated. You ever feel like you
Custom
want to put your
bones,
hand?
I do worry about the marketplace implications. I mean, the idea of compatibility gets a lot more complicated. I realize there's already, complicated aspects to compatibility, but I think that makes it harder to explain to people what they're getting and what they can use it for.
But there's nothing wrong with having more like sleeves. Think of the kimonos. Think of the kimonos. Yeah, I know that ship has sailed, but it's still fun to dream.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, if you're not going to have custom bones, then you've got to draw the line somewhere. I mean, we did add a heck of a lot more bones with Bento, but I realize it doesn't have everything that folks want. It's feasible we would review that again at some point, but it's probably a bit down the line. User experience is convoluted. Yes, it is, and I think there's a lot of sort of feature fatigue at this point. If we can't make things approachable and something that kind of people can use without too much pain and suffering, then it's a lot tougher to really get a lot of value from a new feature that most people can't really figure out how to make it work.
No, I think you're right. Recently, spending more time in Second Life, I wanted my partners always making fun of my avatar. So it's like I went around looking for a new male avatar. And it's like, this is ridiculous. Why would I, especially me, why would I do all this when I could just make my own avatar and upload it? Literally, that is far easier for me to do than to figure out how to make my male avatar in Second Life.
You mean using a mesh avatar or something?
Right. It is literally far easier for me to just make it myself and import it and do all that than to figure it out how to do it in Second Life with somebody else's body.
Inside voice, dude. Inside voice, please.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't understand how all these people get such nice avatars, because I could never go through that process.
Yes. A lot of people want to make their own avatars, but there's not a lot of information out there, or well, at least that used to be the old reason, how you had to have the right kind of applier script inside of it. It just costs too much money to make your own, and then it would be to buy somebody else. At least that's what I heard back in the day.
Well, Veer, what's the lab thinking? You mentioned that you might put out a new default, or you guys are thinking about it?
I mean, that's one of these things that's come up at various times. It's certainly still a possibility. I think the main focus for the next round of work is going to be on improving approachability and new user experience. So that's going to mean focusing on improving the UI to be more approachable, improving performance, things like that. I think, certainly doing a new starter avatar, could help with that, but it would be a much larger project, so it's not the sort of thing we'd probably be tackling in return.
Well, seeing how arduous the creating an avatar is, it makes me, I don't know, we've been considering making avatars.
I don't want to get banned.
It doesn't have to be this,
I promise to behave.
Complicated. Wear an avatar, morph its body, put on some clothing, but it's far more complicated in Second Life.
Yeah, part of the problem is just there's all this stuff that's sort of built up in sort of different layers of development, right? You have the original system avatar, which, I think for the time it was pretty decent. It would knock a modern AAA game out of the park or anything, but, it had quite a lot of things you could adjust, and there was a framework for being able to add stuff to it. But then you do attachments, you do meshes, so you get the sort of escalating complexity cycle that you have to know lots of different pieces to really make it all work. So, probably some scope for.
The system avatars still have their charm. You just gotta extract them out of the game and then jazz them up in Blender and put them back in there and adjust in some curves, and it's just as good as those other ones.
Do everything with mesh instead of system avatar stuff, maybe.
You know what I find, though, working for Zubies, I worked on their releasing a pregnant female coming out, and while working on that, just all these rules. It's like, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta do, you gotta be able to chop off the hands and feet and all that crap.
You know what? I agree with you. I'm sorry.
I would like to see a creator come out and say, screw all those rules. This is what you get. 1, 2, 3. Wear an avatar. You're all done.
Yeah, that is a pain. You try to help the community and make something free, and then they're like, oh, well, where's the alpha HUD? Where's the appliers compatibility script? How come it doesn't fit any of the clothes that XYZ makes? And I'm like, oh, it's free. Take it. It's got all the stuff. Stop asking. But at least Bakes on Mesh has helped curve the difficulty layer just a little bit. So now you don't need to have an alpha HUD, and you don't need to be on a major applier system. So thank you, Linden Labs, for that.
Well, here's my issue with the baked on mesh and like alphas. Sometimes people don't cut the alphas right. And while I think a lot of my issue with like mesh bodies now is sometimes the alpha cuts are too big, I think they should make them smaller. But if the rig is not good, then even with the alpha cut, if you don't have the right alpha cut, you have to go out and buy someone's. It just gets annoying, which is why the alpha HUDs are better, even if it is like baked on mesh enabled. I just think that should be a standard for mesh bodies. I was kind of disappointed with Cooper because I was like, oh man, the body type is beautiful, but it's so hard to cut out parts of your body for clothing. And I know it can't really like, those two things don't always work in tandem together. They can be a little confusing, but at the same time, I don't know, it just feels awkward having alpha cuts for all these bodies for so long. They become baked on mesh and enabled, and it's not an issue with any of these bodies. And then someone comes out with like, why'd you choose to do it like this?
I totally understand.
that
I
does
totally
bring up
understand.
a topic, because when I was looking at all this stuff, it comes down to the alphas. Yeah, what alphas can you wear and how easy is it? Because I was thinking about it in, like, do I give people a HUD or do I give them the alpha in that they apply in World? And it's like, yeah, the HUD just sounds so much easier for the user even too. So it sounds like we need some kind of code to be able to wear and unwear alphas so that people can make a HUD that does it.
Yeah, because the reason why HUDs suck is like you gotta cut it. It's like, all right, from a designer point of view, I like alpha HUDs, and that does make my job a whole lot easier, being able to push a button and copy your body out. But it's the process of chopping up the body, and then you're wondering how much chopping segments you should make. What's too thin?
Well,
what's not too thin? It's just like, oh.
If we have a way to apply things with code, they don't need to chop up their body to do
That's
that.
true. That's absolutely true. Because it's not always going to work for the bodies that have been. Because if you wear any type of alpha with a body that was a prior converted to baked on mesh, it doesn't really work that well.
Yeah.
You might get your whole body turning red or black or green color. I've seen even yellow. It's crazy. You just
That's
see
because
lots of rainbows on people.
Yeah, that's because when you have the appliers, it's telling the body to wear this texture and to switch over to like inventory UUID, apply this to the body, and it's switching over from the baked thing that's over there. So it's like baked inventory, and then when you try to put an applier on your body, it switches it from baked to inventory, which is where you get that whole rainbow effect. It's a pain. So that's why you see a lot of the bodies have like old school and then bakes on mesh in the box. There's not just one like, oh, it's bakes on mesh, it's updated now. And you lose your ability to pliers. Oops, sorry.
All right. Well, I think we're getting to the end for this time, but a lot of good discussion here. One question maybe I'll toss out there that people say they want better alphas to control visibility. I mean, is that really the goal, or is that just kind of the means to the end? I mean, it seems like in a perfect world, you would just be able to say, I've got this shirt and I've got this body, and have the system figure out what it takes to get the shirt shown over the body, rather than you having to tweak a bunch of alphas to make it happen. But obviously there's
Yeah, that's the dream. We live with that.
Quick question, Veer. When you do wear an alpha in World, are you still rendering the triangles that you're alphaing?
Yes.
Good question. I'm not sure how much overhead you're paying for with the stuff that's alphaed out. If the whole region is set to invisible, like your system avatar is not showing, and there's no overhead for that. But if the trim is set to invisible, so we can look at how much time we spend looping over triangles to invisible because of alphas. I'm not sure how that compares. Get the graphics folks here. All right. I hear about the free alpha uploads, but sorry, are you talking about the textures, or are you talking about the wearables? I mean, you can create alpha wearables already. Well, how would that work? How do you make it free to upload an alpha texture, but not free to upload other textures? custom asset type.
But
Yeah,
then people will just upload their textures and say that it's an alpha and then get it in for free. Oh wait, yeah, no, forget that, forget it.
It would have to be like you could only use it in certain contexts or something. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds complicated, but anyway, I need to review the jury you linked. I've got it up, but I don't have it memorized, and I can't read it during the meeting. All right, well, Beck, we should talk about this. Obviously, having a detailed planning discussion in the middle of a meeting isn't the best place for it, but I'm happy to conversation. It's true, Lucy. I'm easily frightened. All right, guys. Well, I gotta run, but anyway, those of you who are having a holiday next week, have a good holiday, and everybody stay safe and take care. And we will talk to you next meeting.
See you there.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays. Make sure there's no knives around when you
Thanks,
fall out from
Lindens.
eating too much. People lost noses with that.
Something that I'm surprised I haven't seen yet is like alphas for faces, like mesh heads.
Oh.
Like you have like the scalp ones, but what about faces when you want to wear a mask? I want to see that.
Huh.
I'm surprised no one's done that.
I guess it's because people don't know how to, how can I say, you know how people are with their dev kits? They can't draw the alphas on there. So, yeah, that's probably why.
Well, I think that's something I want to look at in avatars. I need to focus on like learning Blender, but I think I don't know. I would want to make like a standard mesh body that everybody could come and give out kits to people and say, hey, make some clothes for this, and sell it at a decent enough price that people could just go and get it and not feel like they look like a bum.
Roof is open source, as are my bodies. You can do that too. They're open source. Not as popular as Roof, but you know, shameless self-promotion.
I don't know. I feel like I'd rather make it from scratch, so it's something let me.
Yeah, I mean, there is no greater joy than creating an avatar from scratch or semi-scratch. It just feels good. Like, that's my baby!
I think for me it's hard because I'm just like kind of intimidated. I hate optimizing. Like, I do it because I have to, but I hate doing it.
What if you got an avatar or a Blender file with an avatar in it that had like just as many or more sliders than the Second Life avatar has, and you can do those sliders in Blender and then just export it out and import it into Second Life.
Dude, you're like
you can do that.
super late. That's that's late, Chuck.
Well, why don't people use it? Obviously, they don't want to do it that way. I mean,
that or they just don't know. That or they don't know, don't feel like it, or they use this.
Most of the heads so far use the standard Second Life sliders. I didn't know there were other sliders we could put onto bodies, because had I known that, I'd be researching that.
Also, Avastar tried to make it a thing because
we can just play animations and they can equate to sliders.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but the whole deforming thing, like, well, I guess they will function differently from deformers, right? Because sometimes, for example,
that's
like
what deformers are, just bones in a certain position. Right?
They're being animated into a certain position. That's. But if you like have, for example, if I have like a deformer on my butt, for example, and then I have an animation HUD that makes like my hips switch as I walk. Oh,
yeah, you're gonna have a conflict.
Yeah, so it'll bring my behind size down, and it won't look right. So it's like, how could you have the animations function while also being able to work with certain animation?
A series of animations.
The way they do that
That's too many.
only rotating bones. bones. If you only rotate bones, then yeah, all bones can rotate. Yeah, but as soon as you move the bone, you're going to have a conflict with something else.
Yeah. I'm still new to this, so sorry if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm still learning about all the technical parts of Second Life.
I swear, at least once a month, somebody asks me if I can make them a boob slapper. Because I made one for somebody a long time ago, and so people see that and they ask me if I'll make
I
one.
want one.
But I can't, because that boob slapper breaks everyone's boobs.
Yes.
Yeah, they will break your boobs.
And there's so many good ones out here already. Cloud Bottle, Code 5, and Birth. Like, I don't understand what's the need for getting a custom one.
Pretty Liars, I think it's called.
Pretty Liars, too. Although I don't use that one. I've never used that one. I don't know if it's great or not. I usually get ones that have whitelist and blacklist, so.
30 Secrets, too. I recently saw that one, but I think that one is only for, Maitreya. That's not what the kids are into. It's mostly for certain situations, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
I feel so old. Back in my day, all we had was poofers. Back in my day, that was the thing. Are those still a thing?
Oh my god. But yeah, nowadays it's both an adult interest and also just for fun. Like, I have a friend who wears hers all the time, and to get her attention, I'll just be like, slap, 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 slap. It's really fun to mess with. But, like, it's just little things like that I think, one, add realism to Second Life and add a little, like, fun.
Hold up. Did you just say that slapping boobs would add realism to Second Life? Are you doing that in real life? Just going up to people?
Yeah.
Slap!
To my friend, yeah. Everyone. Slap. Oh my god, that's funny. But no, it's like, I get so many people. I came from IMVU originally, and I get so many people who are like, how do you play Second Life? It seems so complicated, and they're like, it seems like The Sims, and I'm like, it is, but it isn't. Like, it can be if you want to play it that way, but you can also play it like IMVU. You can also play it like other games. You can play it like it's an RPG, and people don't really understand that it's so many things in one, and you can get so many things just on your avatar in the world. They just don't get it, and it's so hard to explain.
Ironically, like, I came from IMV. Oh, sorry. You were saying?
Oh, my bad. I came from there also a long time ago, but it's like once all your friends leave that and come over here, you're like, oh, I want to do it, but then you see how different it is, and you see, oh, well, they're ahead of me in learning, I don't feel like learning and all of that. It's just a learning curve, but once you get into it and moving with friends can help, I feel, then people are more inclined to join.
Yeah. Ironically, I came from IMVU, like, way back when it first came out, like, forever ago. And the only reason I left is because I was like, what? You gotta pay money to make stuff? Forget it. I'm out. And then I came over here. Somehow this was a lot better.
It's way cheaper to make things in Second Life than it is in IMVU. There's still a little bit of the cost, but, like, it's definitely not as bad as IMVU.
Yeah, how bad is it now?
Everyone wants a cut, especially the main company.
Imagine getting findomed by a company to make stuff to sell.
And then everything ends up being the same anyway, because, like, you'll see creators making a bunch of... They'll follow pop culture, which I get, but then you see creators just copying each other.
Or putting brands up. And it runs rampant here, too.
At least here, there's enough of a variety of creators.
True. You can just choose not to shop those creators, or I don't get why a lot of them just don't use, like, an off version of the logos and stuff. Like, you can make your own logos. They have their own logos. Why not just make your own? Like, that's why I also don't understand the concept of, like, SL celebrities, like, real-life celebrities turned into SL avatars, because, unless it's the real person. Because it's like, make your own celebrity persona. If you can sing, sing. if you can dance, put together some choreography with some animation,
Or like
something.
in the RP aspect, create an RP.
It's
story
so
for them or
hard being a
something.
Second Life celebrity.
Girl, I love you.
Oh, ever so
And
hard.
then you have people who already think they're second life celebrities, so does it really matter?
There are like very few. Like
I
people
love
who
the
have a lot of.
self-proclaimed celebrities. Those
I
are
mean-
the best ones.
Yeah, like sometimes it's like, who are you? And they'll be like, I'm so and so, and they're like, I've never heard of you in my life. And
Okay,
you
that
have
does hurt.
influence. Well, you know I know who
To
you are.
quote Laganja, I'm feeling attacked right now. Okay.
I learned how to use Marvelous from you. Like but like there are people who like huge creators and people like, oh, you know, you're not that big, you're not this that, and they're making hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars off the creation. So it's like clearly they have some influence versus people who don't create, don't do anything. They just have a big following on Instagram and they're like, oh, I'm an SL celebrity. Who are you? Because most SL people do not actually use Instagram or SL.
Yeah, that's one thing I would not do, create an Instagram for this. It's hard to do with my real life one.
I don't have one either.
Yeah, how dare you. That's so me. Yeah, I only have it because I know that you can build a huge following off Instagram, especially for your store. People shop on Instagram for SL things. Like, I have a whole folder. I have a separate Instagram page for Second Life, /IMVU, /Sims a little bit. And I have a whole folder where I save posts that I see that are things that are for sale in SL events, things like that. So I can go back and say, okay, here's something going on this weekend. Oh, here's a sale going on. Here's
Those are horrible. I always miss the sale. It comes up on Google when you look, and then I'm like, oh my god, those avatars are on sale. And then like, oh, this post was from 2 years ago. Like, oh.
I could link up with Second Life because they're already going the route of basically turning Instagram into like an e-commerce website or whatever. What if they could link up with the creators and actually have it you able to buy off Instagram and you log in, like when you buy
Yeah,
a
right.
it's there in your received item. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I use Facebook for all of that. All my Second Life stuff is on Facebook. I only just got on Flickr only because it was a requirement for SLB when I took part in that. But yeah, and I think only reason everybody used Flickr was because of SLB. Not anymore.
Wait, what is it?
Oh, the Second Life
Sorry,
birthday.
I've only been here like 2 years, so
Oh, you still got egg on your head.
I know, I'm a baby.
Me too, my account just old.
Yeah, my account is older than, because I made the account like a year before I actually started playing because my computer sucked. And I still couldn't have played for like a year, but I did anyways because I didn't care about my computer and then my hard drive crashed.
I'm sorry for your loss.
It's alright. I did lose a lot of art though, it's a little annoying.
It's worse. I keep bragging like, I'm a vet, okay? I've been here for 13 years, okay? Don't tell me about it. Yeah, I grew up in this game, so I'm so damn passionate about it.
That's fair. I was the same way. There was a game I used to play that when it shut down, I was devastated. Oh my god, I wanted to just cry and not exist.
Take care.
Yeah, Flickr is super active. I just can't get with it.
Flickr
It's
is
just
really active for like the bloggers and creators.
But all of that just seems stupid to me. I just got my own website. That way I can post what I want without having to deal with trolls.
Anybody else's rule.
Yeah, trolls and haters. Like Lucia over there. Flagging shit.
Yeah, it just becomes harder sometimes for people to search you. Like, I guess having your own site is cool if you have it in places that are very obvious. Like I'd say Instagram, Flickr, Facebook. You put your website link up so people can both search you on those platforms, but then also go straight to your site. They can comment whatever they want on your social media, but that doesn't mean you have to respond if it's not a direct line to you. It's just a means to getting your site out there.
Well, nowadays, when you start up your own website, like Google gives you a free 30-day of ads, and you get registered in there. So when you put, but I know with my website creator, you have keywords that work with Google. So if I put my website name in there, or I just put random stuff in there, if somebody searches it, it comes up. So you can play the field if you want people to accidentally find you. Every time somebody Googles applesauce or Martha Stewart, my site comes up.
What?
Okay. Hey.
Alright. You got that one. That's unique. I like it. You should put Snoop Dogg too, though.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart. People probably searching that.
You have one without the other. Oh my god. You know what? That reminds me. Someone had told me, what was it? Someone told me that I reminded them of you, and I was like, what? They were like, she was like, I could see y'all being friends. I was like, huh? I've never even met this girl. But now I see why.
Well, if you're goofy, you'll fit right in.
Oh my god.
You're like, welcome to the club. Ain't nobody in the mighty Ginkgo sane. So.
I love that. Do you have a group I can join? Because I definitely want the knowledge to run off on me.
Do I have a what now?
A group.
Oh.
Wow, new friendship has formed. I'd love to see.
I have a Second Life group, but it's not active. Everybody's in Discord.
Can I join your Discord?
In Discord.
Yes.
Yay! Because I'm really trying to crack down. I want to be the Second Life Lisa Frank. With colors and decor and rainbow buff.
I remember them days.
I'm still in that phase. Look, I went through an emo phase in middle school, and now I went from pretty pink princess to emo to pretty pink princess.
I mean, I think I went through an emo phase, whatever you want to call it, pop punk shit like that. But I still listen to that shit to this day. So was it really the phase?
I tried to be emo, but I was too poor to be emo, and it came out as 80s punk, but bad 80s punk. I remember I was in high school and I wanted to wear all black and all the stuff, and then I go outside and I got different shades of black on. So light black, dark black, super jet just shade. Blue black here. Oh! And then one of the shirts got a bleach stain on it, and I can't even make that look cool. And then I was just hot. And of course it all. Yeah, and then of course it all you get rebellious during the summertime when it's stupid hot. So wearing all these different shades of black, sweating and just looking gross. I just didn't have it.
I was in Texas trying to do that. I had to stay in the house. I was about to pass out.
Oh no. Oh god. My emo phase manifested in, those hoodies that have the headphones built into them?
Damn future kids. Headphones built into them. Back in my day, we had to go to the dollar store and put our own headphones in there.
No, they came out. Well, they were really popular in I'm gonna say maybe 2010 to 2013.
Oh, I was already out of school by then.
Yeah, I was in middle school. I'm only 21 now. Again.
Jeez, baby, get out of here, you damn fetus.
I'm a fetus. But let me put on my teen shape. But I had one of those little I didn't even have a smartphone in those years, though. I had like an MP3 player. Because my mom would not buy me a smartphone. So I would upload music to that and then play it off that, have it in my pocket where the cord was, plug it in.
I know, right?
It would go through the strings, like the drawstrings, the headphones, and then I'd have them in my ears. And my teachers never noticed.
Oh my God.
It never caught on.
I feel you're making the people in my group feel old. Because we're like, in our day, we had CDs and a CD player with dollar store batteries that you had in a bag. You keep shuffling through it, trying to listen to your Kingdom Hearts bootleg that your friends made. You can't. So I'm trying to run all cool, like I'm listening to Final Fantasy X music, trying to run the class, and it's dun, dun, oh God, I feel so MP3 player. You kids don't know how good you got it.
I had to deal with the struggle too. My dad at least had an iPod. I was like, oh, you got an iPod? That's nice. I'm stuck with this. They had these, it was this thing that they did, Barbie did some, it was called Barbie Girl, and they had a doll that doubled as an MP3 player, and you could plug it in, and it would connect to the game. Yeah, so I had
that. It was like in the shape of a doll. Mine was like blue, and you plug in your headphones and music on there, everything. I had that. And then I think I had a Zune or something. Then
oh my God, I wanted a Zune.
Then an iPod, and then I finally just got a phone. My first phone was a Motorola Razr, I think, or I got my uncle's old Sidekick.
Sidekick was cool.
I used to really use Mario.
All right, can y'all stop, because I'm feeling so old right now, like thinking about like. I remember when those were things where, what was those? Music phones is what we used to call them.
Oh my God.
They were phone. Can y'all, like, back, like, okay, I keep saying back in our day. Yeah, we had Napster and a stack of CDs, or, unless you were like us, a Walkman, and then you would hook your computer up to your stereo, and you would push record. And listen to all the songs playing, record them to stop. Wow. Load up the next one, play, stop.
I saw a meme about that on Twitter where this guy was holding up his phone to this music video that I was playing, and in the comments I had like, you better hope nobody walks in and messes up your recording, or you gotta wait till the song comes back on.
Yes!
I remember that. Oh man, I used to have to do that.
I used to try to record video game music using the recorder. You know, the big rectangle one with the big red button. And then you're like, Now, the thing is, I wanted a song that was on Castlevania 64. And that was my brother's. And he was in that whole, you know, she can't touch my stuff. So I would play that Castlevania intro on. And my brother would hear it coming, and he would come down and yell real loud and then scream at my mom that I'm playing his game. And I'm like, I don't know, have you ever heard the intro to Castlevania 64?
I want to be like, first of all, I wasn't even playing the game.
I know, but he didn't want me to do it. So I'm like getting lost in the violin, moving my body like I'm playing the violin, and then, Ma! Leisha's playing my game! Ugh. So that was like, oh, my tapes. Gotta rewind.
I like this. I might have to save this.
Forget that. I just ripped the music from the game. Or, you know, get it off of YouTube.
Now.
Yeah, get straight from YouTube. Or, what is it? Play for Kingdom Hearts? The Kingdom Hearts Insiders. I just got the fee. I'd already got, like, what is this? 50 gigs of music I downloaded from there already.
I know my uncle on our family computer in our kitchen, he'd always be in there downloading music, mainly Bootsy and Webby, because that's all he listened to at that time in high school. And he'd use that, what was it, Line, I think it was, that always put a virus on your computer. Oh, God. our computer
LimeWire.
Yeah. Our computer was always out of fucking commission, and I'd have to reset it or whatever because he'd use that. Then I was like, at this point, just take it off.
I hated
dad
that.
used to use that too.
My
He did
mom
movies on-
lived on LimeWire because we used to. All right, so we started with Napster, then Napster died, and then we was Winamax, and everybody loved Winamax until Winamax died, and then LimeWire came out. Then wait, wasn't it FrostWire first, and then LimeWire, or was it LimeWire then
I
FrostWire?
just remember LimeWire.
Lime first, then Frost. Okay. Then LimeWire came out, and my mom lived on there. And every week, I was like, "Let me clean the computer." Like it was just a already programmed a schedule to run at 3:00 in the morning to de-virus the computer, clean out the cache, and then there she go. Well, let me go get this LimeWire again. Like, oh my God, Mom, stop it! Use torrents like the rest of us.
Oh man.
What was the other one? There's another good torrent site. Nah, I forgot. So old.
Oh wow.
Right now, I use BitTorrent Web for my torrents. It's just easier.
Your LimeWire had his. Yeah, I use uTorrent too.
uTorrent, yeah, uTorrent Web.
Oh,
But
that.
I always make sure I have my VPN turned on if I'm using that.
Yeah, that's. We had the separate phone line for our dial-up, and it was like super swanky. Like, oh, we have two phone lines. Which one are you referring to? Yeah, true. I don't care. After all they done for me, it's okay. I don't mind.
That's crazy.
Fuck, I feel so old now. Like my chest, I'm like, what is this pain in my heart right now? My chest hurts. It's the old.
People always call me an old soul, so it's like really funny when I get around people that are actually older than me, and they're like, "Oh, you don't know about this or that."
Shazam! Yeah, that's the one.
Like my manager, she saw me with a moon tie in my purse because I had grabbed it just in case like my blood sugar dropped, and she was like, "Is that a moon tie? I haven't seen that since I was a kid. You are such an old soul." I was like, Jesus, I just need to eat. It's a moon tie. It was hilarious. But I probably should go myself because I have to go talk to this girl about maybe doing an Abby like setup.
Oh yeah, what she was talking about.
But if I do this whole standard Abby, I need to learn how to do. That's bucket list is making like a standard.
That's it.
Dash body.
Oh,
for people.
do you want to? Did you see the tutorial I did on turning Second Life bodies into bento ones?
I haven't watched it. I've seen it in your list of videos, but I haven't watched it just yet.
I feel like I want to say good. Don't do it. I gotta remake it, but I don't know.
Oh.
Do I have to? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I do need to remake it because I learned a lot more about face rigging and teeth. So I gotta update that as well as making. We just got. Damn, what did we get? Somebody asked me about how to rig a head. And we found that old software that we had that lets you generate Second Life heads. And when I was working with that, I figured out a good way to quickly rig it, would make it bento, sliders, moving and all that jazz. And we just got the script to make emotion HUDs, the face animation HUD.
Yeah.
So I just got that and a butt ton of animations. So it's like, I'm debating about whether or not we should redo that tutorial just to include all of that. Or should I just add on to it because it's already done? Plus, I'm trying to get somebody to pay for that tutorial. Donate. I want Zero wants pizza.
I want some pizza too. I'm hungry.
Yeah, that ain't happening. I'm gonna have to go upstairs and get that bougie pizza I got from Aldi's.
Not the bougie pizza.
It
I'm
is.
dead.
It is super bougie. It's like what was it? Spinach
Like,
and
I
goat
had all
cheese.
Oh, this sounds good as that.
I never had goat cheese before, so it's like super bougie.
Arby's sliders are really good. I like getting the buffalo ones.
They only have one Arby's in my entire city.
Same
Okay.
here. There's one Arby's in the whole, like, it's an outlet mall full of diners like that. But now that COVID hit, it's like everything is shut down over there.
Well, Arby's and 5 McDonald's.
We got Wawa's on every corner.
They stopped building Wawa's in my city. They all outside, like in the county here.
You poor
We used to
dear.
have a few. That's Baltimore life for you. It sucks.
Oh, really? Baltimore? I'm in Delaware.
Hey, DMV.
Yeah. Yeah, in Claymont, it's a Wawa on every street corner. Like,
Lucky.
if you could just,
Their pretzels are delicious. Oh my god.
I'm addicted to the cream cheese ones. The lady sees me and she knows what I'm about to do, so she just goes in the back and grabs it for me. I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or is that really, really fat.
Oh. We love it.
I have no idea what it.
It's Wawa.
Yeah, it's
Just one word.
Wawa. One word. It's
Like
a
a gas station plus convenience store.
But
you know,
super
kinda
fancy.
Like Royal Farms or whatever.
Like Buc-ee's.
Lucky's.
Girl, get it. But yeah, I guess you could say that, except for they don't make chicken or fries.
Yeah. If they did.
Oh my god! Every day I think about that. I'm like, how come Wawa don't have burgers or chicken?
Mm.
Man, apparently
I just got braces put on. I can't eat nothing. I'm suffering. I
You-
can't be talking about food.
you poor D. Apparently Wawa was testing out burgers, and they only had it in Philly, and they were like, no.
Yeah, I don't think they go. I think they're mostly just East Coast.
Yeah, Upper East Coast and just a few in the South, but not many.
Sounds good.
I can't eat Chick-fil-A.
I
Chicken dry.
only had chicken nuggets from there one time, and it was like the greatest thing ever. And then they're closed.
Chicken deluxe with and put Chick-fil-A sauce on it is really good. And I mostly like their fries and their cookies and cream shake or whatever it is.
I don't know. I think I've had, like, they had some breakfast bowl where it was like eggs, hash browns, and chicken, and that was good. And then I like the Polynesian sauce, but, like, that's not enough to make me want to go. And I think they took that little breakfast bowl off the menu. It was like a limited time thing, so, like, I'm just disinterested. Plus, I don't like their political stance, so that's a whole different topic.
Psh, they can think whatever they want as long as they keep giving me those chicken nuggets.
I like McDonald's chicken nuggets better.
See ya.
Like, Shake Shack has good chicken if you got Shake Shack, maybe.
Shake Shack. I think we do, but it's only on DoorDash.
Alright.
You said what, Linnell?
I said Shake Shack is alright, but
I like their mushroom burger. It's really good. I like vegan food.
I went to Steak and Shake and tried this Cajun style burger with their fries or whatever. That was good. And their
That sounds-
shakes are good.
Some people are like, it's either Steak and Shake is delicious or Steak and Shake is disgusting. Most
It
people just,
depends what you get.
yeah, most people just agree that, what's it called? Buffalo Wild Wings is trash. At least here. I don't know about other places, but here it sucks. I haven't been to a single good one yet.
Yeah, I've tried it. It wasn't that good. I'll eat Wingstop before I eat B-Dubs, but then we have a chicken place here that's even better than Wingstop, so I'd rather eat that before I eat Wingstop. It's called Chicken King. Their wings are really good.
I want to try.
I wonder if
They
they're
got
related
some-
to Crown Chicken up here. That's
No,
so
they
funny.
do different names other places, so
Probably not, because I think they're only based here, and then they closed all other locations they had because of something happened with the owner, which I'm not going to get into detail about, but it was just crazy.
Feel old for they just very.
I want to try Cookout, and I want to try Jollibee, because they just got one in New York. Somebody had posted a video on their Instagram story going up there, and I found out we got one in Maryland, so I'm like, I'm going to let it go. I told my boyfriend, I was like, babe, as soon as you get the insurance on your car, we're going. Like, it's like an
Goals.
drive for some chicken. Like, I'm fat. I like to eat. Oh my God.
It's cool. It's understandable.
Wow.
We drove from here all the way to Philly just to get those Chinese buns.
Chinese buns?
Yeah, from Chinatown. Buns from Chinatown.
Oh, wow.
That is an hour drive.
I don't know.
And
Baltimore has a really strong Asian population, and the food here, the Asian fusion, just straight, like, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Taiwanese, all of it. Delicious.
oh,
Delicious.
dang, that's his food. Oh, sorry. It's taking me this long to learn.
They just all got delicious food. I found out this place that does bubble tea, and then they do boozy ones, and I was like, oh my God.
I'm so over bubble
I
tea.
finally
That's so
drink-
high school.
I mean, like,
Bubble tea is so good. I used to work at a bubble tea place, but we sold like slushies and all those other types of drinks. It was good, and we'd get to try everything on the menu. My favorite drink from there is the taro milkshake. That's really good. Well, not milkshake, taro shake.
White taro or purple taro?
It's purple.
Yay, the good one.
It is just so sweet, and I love it. Then the managers would look at me like, that's too sweet for me. And then I'd make my own and not follow our recipe, whatever. And they'd be like, are you sure that's enough? Because that's a lot. It's going to be too sweet. I was like, I want it sweet.
I don't know. Taro is its own flavor. I don't think there's anything that tastes like it.
at all.
Just know that
Actually, no, I have had it once. It kind of, to me, tastes a little bit like cookies and cream, but like minus. It lacks a flavor that is in cookies and cream, but it makes it better because it lacks that flavor. Does that make sense? It's just this sort of undertone that taro doesn't have, that cookies and cream does, which taro is better than cookies and cream flavor. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I remember it.
It
now.
tastes like good.
I forget where I was. I had taro before.
It tastes like good. Okie doke, sugars. I have to scoot because today we celebrate me getting my ability to live stream back, so I gotta do something. I got out of YouTube jail. Stupid COVID. They froze. I got I got a community strike on my account for video. Yeah, you get community strikes. If you get 1 strike, they suspend you. 2 strikes, you can't upload nothing, and 3 strikes, you get banned. Now, I got a strike because I had a video, the exact one I'm talking about, how to change your system avatar into a bento avatar. I have that one, and then I did an addendum to that, well, how to sculpt the vagina. Just and
that might be. Yeah.
So not only did when COVID hit, people were talking about, giving facts about COVID and things like that. So YouTube put on this auto flag system. So if anything was flagged or they believed it was flagged, you instantly got the video suspended. And then somebody would come around and review it and then unflag it, and then it would go back to normal. So they were just going through my channel and like, oh, this has nipples in it from when you were making the avatar. So there's a nipple there. This is flagged. There's a vagina here. This is flagged. This is flagged. And they flagged me too many times before they got a chance to remove the flags. And then I got it's counted as a strike. And so I couldn't. Yeah, Google bots. And so because of that, I couldn't upload any streams. Like for a week, I couldn't upload anything. And then for 90 days, I couldn't do anything. So they're like, it's because you made that video, right? The one with the heads and cat what got you. And I'm like, maybe. And then I looked into it, I'm like, no, it wasn't. Not at all. It was because of the system.
Catwood don't care no more.
Nah. Catwood actually did try to get that video taken down, but that was just the last straw. It was already a list of this is flagged, this is flagged, this is flagged, this is flagged, and then you got that was flagged, and then YouTube was like, that's it, you're in jail. I was like, oh, but 5 of those are illegitimate. And I sent the email, and they were like, oh, well, just wait it out. It's only 90 days.
Only.
Yeah, it's only 90 days. Don't worry about it. Thanks for using YouTube.
I've been in quarantine for like 3 times that.
Yeah, that was rough. I wanted to hang out with so many people.
Yeah, I got stir crazy like right at the beginning. I'm a homebody. Like, I did not go out that, especially once I started college. Most of the time, if I wanted to go out, I would go out on a day where I was already out at campus. And once I got home, I did not talk to anybody. Like, I'd be like, I'm home, leave me alone. If it's not a project or something, leave me alone.
Yes, I am. Alright, but for realsies, gots to go. Gotta figure out a tutorial to do while I got this creative energy. And since it looks like I'm not getting that pizza, I guess I'm going to have to make... Sinking that pizza, looks like I'm just going to make that tutorial anyway. Side.
Yeah, I've been
for
I
free.
Need to make a tutorial because people keep asking me, how do I set up this mesh head, this mesh body? So that's what I'm doing. That's my current project.
Wait, what body did you make?
No, just like all the popular heads like Janice, Catwa, and what's the other one? The Luca right now, Legacy body, Maria body, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get Cupra and do a tutorial on how to set that up for like new players. It's like how to set up a Abby for new players type thing. Because we've been in the Mila Vanderbilt Discord, and there's so many new players coming in, and they're like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And there's just too many for us to help them. I'm just like, I'm going to make these tutorials, post them in the Discord, and let people...
Well, glad y'all got it. At least you don't got to show them how to make clothes from scratch.
Oh, yeah, no. Like I said, you got a reason why I even learned Marvelous, but I think I'm going to do my creating in Blender from now. I need to...
No, it's fine. Blender's a great way to do it. I would... totally make clothes from block if I wasn't like I love the pain that Marvelous gives you. I become addicted to that pain. If I would just take my medication, I would be able to use my mind properly to just use block instead of trying to do it like Okami.
Yeah.
But I love that pain.
Yeah, and I heard Blender has a sewing function now, so I want to learn how to use that before I say
it's a bootleg of Marvelous sewing feature.
Is it?
The guy made it because people couldn't afford Marvelous Designer and didn't want to download the bootlegs, so he tried to simulate that inside of there. The only thing I don't like about it is that it uses a lot more triangles than Marvelous does, because the more triangles you have, the better the cloth simulation is with Blender cloth. But, I guess you can always do the same thing and reduce it. But it's just, like, if I'm going to do all that, make a square, do this, might as well go to Marvelous.
Honestly, I'd rather do it all in one program, though. That's just me. So I'll take a look into it, because I need to sit down and do an actual proper tutorial with Blender anyways, because I have no clue how to use it. Like, I can mesh, I just don't know how to use Blender. That's the issue. I still say use the old Blender for your rig and stuff, because it's a whole lot more like plugins and it's a way easier and stuff ain't stupid. Somebody gave me an updated Avastar though, so I'll just have to find a tutorial on it though. Yeah, because nobody uses it because it's broke. And for that, the new Avastar, a lot of stuff is broken. I don't have the newest one, but it's a newer version. And I apologize for that, though. That's my fault. Because Gaia, you know how I operate here. I give people out stuffs, and I make the tutorial for it. And Gaia wasn't exactly happy about that, so she tried to make my tutorials broken.
So a lot of the things that updated with that one, it's like, oh, Zero said you can do this with that. Well, not anymore. You have to do this now. And I was like, oh, yeah, guy is like that. She's okay. But she don't. We used to have a nice mutual respect for each other up until she made that video. And then it was like, fuck you. You know what? That reminded me of that. Yeah, fuck her. Oops, sorry, my mom is right upstairs. Sorry, Mom. I'm cussing up a storm. My mom is right there. How rude. All right, seriously, I'm out.
All right.
See y'all in Discord.
See you.
All right, let me scoot over here to my home. Hello, my babies. I hope you had fun watching the Second Life creators meeting. It's usually like that. I try my best not to argue, but somehow somebody says something that pushes me to argue back. But this is usually how it is. Talking creators, talking to Lindens, bouncing off ideas here and there stuff. And most of the time the people are there are just like elitist businessmen. So I'm going to be honest. At least that's what I feel they are. So that's why I always try to encourage people to, come over on their own. That way they have their say into it. Because these people are thinking that people are one way and people are the opposite way. As somebody who deals with a lot of new players and noobs and stuff, I know what you guys are asking and I know what you guys are saying. So I try to put that inside there when I come there. I'm in the mindset of I see new people every day versus they see new people whenever somebody new comes up to them inside of a sandbox they went to. It's totally two different things. Then you get the professional pros and then the ass kisses and the bootlickers. It's always an event. Self-proclaimed. I am not a self-proclaimed celebrity. I am actually a Second Life celebrity. At least, I think so. So, really, I guess there's nothing that's really updated. Except for the website thing, which I think is stupid. Because, have y'all seen the calendar for Second Life calendars? Ugh. It's all over the place. It's a lot easier just to push the button and push the button and see the whole list of stuff that's there rather than check the calendar and look through the days trying to figure out what it's going to be about. Like, let's see. Alright, so this. So, alright, next month. So let's look through here and see content creator meeting, simulation user, Linden and user snowball fight. Huh, neat. But it's a lot easier than the other one. I gotta go through this and remember. Okay, everybody, for this month there's gonna be a content meeting on Thursday, and then type it all out rather than the old one. But it used to be like this. Upcoming meetings. This day, skip this day. Now, we gotta click on the set. Bro, why? Ugh. But whatever. That other one made sense. That other one made sense. So I guess Linden Labs caught on, and you know the rules of Second Life. If it makes sense, they gotta break it, because nothing in Second Life makes sense. Okay, so I guess that is it for right now. That was our stream on this, and we're gonna do another stream a little bit later as soon as I set everything up. It's just gonna be our regular chilling. Nothing like fancy. Just a celebration of having our stream back. I'm so happy to have y'all back. I don't want to let go. But I have two. Alright, so see y'all later in the Discord. Thanks for watching.